Hey, my lovely people, a pleasant evening to everybody. Listen, I want to leave some gems with you, beauties and wonderful people. And it is one, always have your boundaries. Always be a man or a woman of standard and principle. You know what? Because in the long run, people are going to respect you. They may seemingly disregard you in the beginning because people, in some instances and in some jurisdictions, by and large, they're lawless, godless, and without discipline, without accountability. They're not really answerable to anyone. So whatever it is that they want, they get, so to speak. When you set boundaries, it is as though, how dare you? How dare you, put a barrier, upon me, sort of a situation. And you may end up, that person may just, decide that they're not going to speak to you, and they create some sort of dissonance and distance. Don't be daunted, just hold steadfast and be true, because one fine day that very same person is going to come around and respect you for your standard and for your boundary and for your principle. Never ever shirk on that. That is one. I realize that a lot of people are doing things that they're really not happy to do because they don't want to be hated or to be barred or to be ostracized or rejected by the crowd, by the masses. It is not easy to stand alone. I'm telling you, you have to be a strong and tough leader. I've had to learn that, to stand alone where everyone can walk away from you because you're not following the status quo. In their minds, it's as though you have gone rogue, but you may not have gone rogue. You're probably standing up for justice, for righteousness, or for just fairness, and some people will not like that. There are a lot of people who are doing things only to please the masses, only to please what the in crowd likes, but deep down they don't like it. For example, if the in crowd is abusing somebody, whether verbally or physically or psychologically, they join in because they don't want to be abused. And that is why you find, for example, in places of work, churches and all of that, you will see somebody talk to you today, but when some people are around, they don't talk to you. They're afraid. They're afraid, to be ostracized. So most people are doing things that they really don't want to do. They're afraid to be themselves. You cannot be an effective leader if you're afraid to be yourself. You have to make up your mind that people will reject you, they will ostracize you, they will say all kinds of things about you. But if in the long run it will pay off for you. You see, the number of people that you see, it's as though their character has been shredded. It is because they had no backbone. They had no backbone. And now I can appreciate it. The chapter 33, the book of Ezekiel, where God, it's a watchman. God says, basically, if you see somebody doing some wrong and you don't warn them, the blood, if something should happen to them, the blood of that person is going to be on your shoulder. But if you warn them and they choose not to listen, the blood is on their shoulder and you're free. So most people, they are watching things being done and not saying anything, not understanding that the blood is going to be on their shoulders and God will hold them accountable. Another gem that I want to leave with you is this. Celebrate small wins. It's a very difficult thing to do because we live in a world where everything, if it is not magnolious, if it is not grandiose, if it is not humongous, if it is not big, if it is not large, it is as though you have not done anything. And for any big thing that you see, it is actually the sum of small things. A house is not just one block and the house is made. It's several blocks, steel, cement, sand, gravel, or is gravel, sorry, and whatever other material is needed. And it is a multiplicity of them. So the house is not one solid thing and it is made up. It is a sum of small things put together to make the whole. So we have to learn to celebrate small wins. Don't make anybody make you feel daunted, even if you feel that way, saying, you know what, I may not have accomplished 10 things today, but I accomplished 2. And in the grand scheme of things, it may seem insignificant, but it is adding up, because you're sowing a seed of goodness, righteousness, faithfulness. In the long run, it pays off. I've had to learn that celebrate small achievements, small accomplishments. They will add up. I was listening to Mel Robbins, and she was talking about, I guess based on how she spoke, it's as though she may have, I don't know, she suffered from a drinking problem or whatnot, and things were just difficult, and she said that, what she did, and now she has 21 million followers, I guess, maybe among her different social media platforms. She mentioned quite a number in terms of the million. She's an effective woman, and she said it was just getting up on hard days. I heard Les Brown saying, if you do the hard, your life becomes easy, but if you do the easy, your life becomes hard. And most people don't like to do hard. You can't bother. It's tiring, it's taxing, it is taking up too much, and I don't see the benefit immediately. In fact, I feel like I'm losing, not knowing that it is actually sowing seeds. You see, things that happen to people, whether good or bad, it is the small things that they did that were either good or bad when they were younger. And one day, the reaping time came, the harvesting time came, and they either harvested good or they harvested bad. So that is why it is imperative to celebrate small wins. Speak highly of yourself, not too highly. Paul says, don't esteem yourself above where you should, but you esteem yourself. That is what he really was saying. We live in a world where people, they create a vitriol around themselves. They will say they're big, fat, black and ugly, they look like this, they look like that, and we hear this on social media. Speak something positive about your physical makeup. Stop it. I have a little belly here where you need to go. But me tell myself, why I'm in nasty. I look myself in the mirror, I shape good, I look good, I whatever good, and not stop till it becomes a reality. Yes, I have to do my part in terms of eating right. Predominantly, it's 80% of what you intake and 20% exercise. Remember, the Bible says godly bodily exercise profiteth little, meaning in comparison to more important areas. So it is little as it relates to, for example, your spiritual needs, your psychological, emotional, and mental and financial needs. So no matter how the people look buff and strong and they have the muscle, and it's more of their diet than just the exercise alone, to be honest with you, and some probably on steroids. But outside of that, still speak highly of yourself. Let your cells, let your muscles, let your tissues, your skin, your eyes, the members of your body hear the positive words, and so that it can start to shape itself and form itself out that way. I heard a preacher preaching that a man, every time he would see this man, the man would say, when he would say, how are you doing? The man would say he's bald and fat and old, something like that he would say. The two of them are in the same age bracket, in their 50s. And he said when he saw the man, he was shocked. The man looked the very thing that he kept saying year after year after year after year. I'm very careful with what I say about myself sometimes. And we have this false guilt and false humility that we place on ourselves, that if we tear down ourselves, it means that we're pious. It means that we're humble. Humility doesn't mean you mash yourself down. That makes no sense. It's like having a diamond and you take a hammer and hammering it. But that makes no sense. That's exactly what you're doing to yourself. It's like somebody being physically abused. The only thing is that you're being verbally abused. You're abusing yourself. You don't need to tear yourself down. Taking accountability and tearing down yourself are fundamentally two different things. So I can take accountability and say, I was wrong. I did this. My motive may have been good or it may not have been good. I take full responsibility. Tearing down yourself is saying that you might be saying you're wicked, you're evil. You don't need to do that. No. Speak highly of yourself, not too highly. Allow others to put you above themselves and you put them above you, so both of you actually meet that way. But, all in all, just try and, be somebody of integrity, who takes responsibility when needs to be, who is compassionate. Be compassionate, be merciful, and be understanding. Try not to judge people negatively. Try it hard, but try not to. Because all of this that you sow will come back to you in a great way. Anyway, guys, you know what to do with TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lions. Thank you.